Give us the words that we need to reach millions of children. People keep working through us to help and inspire and
elevate from where we're actually at.
What's up, y'all? It's CEO Nemo.
It is the boy Carr.
You tuning in to the Broken Baby podcast. Make sure you like, subscribe, and follow us on all of our socials and get with the Broken Baby movement. Because it's more than a brand, it's a movement.
It's a movement.
Before we get into today's topic, we got a little fact for y'all. We're going to introduce a fact, whether it's about mental health, suicide, just kind of to bring awareness to, certain subjects. We're going to give y'all some facts and statistics that we found interesting and, want to share with you guys. Did you wanted to share one today, or?
Yeah, hey, why not? So the fact for today, guys, is I don't know if y'all familiar with the word recidivism, but 87% of people that end up in the prison system or in that criminal justice system, 87% of people end up recommitting a crime or end up back in the prison. So that's a fun fact that I want us to just ponder on and realize, like, it's easy to go into these systems, but it's super hard to get out. It's super hard to strive and become better. So hopefully y'all can take some nuggets from us and know that, look, everything that I'm saying, I done overcame, I done went through. I'm no better than anyone that's watching this. I'm just a little further down the journey, and I might not be, but, hopefully y'all can take some gems and learn so we can lower that rate just a little bit, man. That's the goal and the intention. So, yeah, fun fact, 87% of people end up going back to jail.
That's actually a crazy statistic, but when I think about, things like that, because I do have people that have been in and out, people very close to me have been in and out of the system. And it's like, they go in there and when they come out, they have a record. And, one thing about society is even though they're letting, somebody free from prison or jail, they're not giving them real freedom to get a second chance. They prevent them from housing. They prevent them from employment. So when they make things that much harder, and yes, it's easy to say they did it to themselves.
Yeah.
But, a lot of things about broken babies, you don't know you was wrong till you was wrong.
Yeah.
Like, you don't know till you know sometimes.
Yeah.
And getting caught up in the system, even like you said you went to prison one time and, when you were in there, you just had a real big realization. You wanted to turn it around, and that gave you the power you needed. And I mean, I don't know how easy or hard your road has been from there, but some people genuinely do find that inner want to change everything around when they're in jail, and they come out and it's so hard for them because like those things, employment, housing. So it's so much easier for them to fall back into the things that they
absolutely
were in before.
And that's the thing is like, there's power in making your mind up. Like that's one thing is making your mind up and saying, you know what, I'm not going to come back to jail. But it's a whole nother thing to have a plan when you come out. And this is why I stress when I'm in these juvenile detention centers, like, yo, what's your 90-day plan? When you get home, you should know everything you're going to do within 90 days because people come home and they're so happy to see family. They're so happy to, see friends and that sort of thing. But when that week is over or that weekend and then party is over, it's like, all right, now what? I need to get a job. Don't be on no medication because you got to find a doctor. You got to, get food stamps. You got to get medical insurance. So, and then people are like, man, I was just in there for X amount of years. I can go back and get three meals and a bunk. And it's like, that's that institutionalized that we have to get away from. We got to shy away from. And this thing called life, this rat race gets heavy sometimes, but to speak on having a plan is going to take accountability, which we're going to talk about today. If you want to explain a little bit about the topic and let them know before we really dive in.
So we've been talking about this word accountability for a while now, and it's the one thing that a lot of people like to hold against everybody but themselves. And honestly, it's not even that, I don't know how I would word it, but there's a sense that people feel, holding themselves accountable, finding fault in themselves is a humiliating feeling. But we have to practice humility. We have to practice being able to say I'm wrong in situations, because one thing I do know is whether it's a breakup, whether it's you're on a team and you guys lose, and again as a team, there's fault in everybody in the situation.
Absolutely.
No matter the turnout, no matter how big or small. Maybe you could have done this a little better and it could have changed how it turned out. Maybe that person could have, but I feel like when situations arise, we focus more on the other person and what they did wrong rather than ourselves. And that's what turns things sour in a sense, because we're so focused on, trying to make each other the problem rather than fixing the problem.
Yeah, and that the kind of go off what you're saying, without accountability, you might as well put all these personal development books down. You might as well put, that journey that you're saying of growth, because without accountability, you're stagnant. There is no growth there because you're never wrong. I know multiple times I've been in conversations where I'll try to get my point across, and it won't come across because the other person is saying, oh well you did, oh well this, oh well that, and it's like, okay, we talking in riddles now. It's all right, you feel like this, all right, I can do this a little better, and that's where the actual growth starts. But without that ability to take account of your actions, check the wordplay. Accountability is the ability to take account for your actions, and without that, you're just going to be stagnant, and you're going to realize as years go by, why the heck you ain't where you should be. Is because you can always ask yourself, like I always ask myself in any situation, what could I have done differently?
Yes, and that's that's a big thing in this journey. I've even went back like years in different situations. It's like, what on my end, what did I do wrong? And not necessarily what did I do wrong. What could I have done differently?
That's it.
What could I have done? Because a lot of people and in this generation is crazy, and I just don't see things this way. But it's like, there'll be a couple and one of them will cheat and they'll be like, well, I'ma cheat back. I don't get that, because it's like, yeah, that person did wrong, but it's on you to hold yourself accountable to not diminish your own character because of somebody else. Yeah. You gotta, and then you don't see yourself as wrong too, because they did it wrong, you did it wrong. You feel that's right. Two wrongs do not make a right, and I don't care what kind of scenario you put it in. It doesn't. It just makes the situation worse. If you really, okay, say that person cheated and you cheated back. That's like I said, that's gonna make it worse. But had that person cheated and it really been an accident, it really been something they didn't mean to do, like they was out drunk and it just kind of happened. You not cheating, that can be fixed. That can be healed. You can forgive. And I mean, to each his own on that subject. That was just an example, but it's like I really reflect. I try to reflect every day, like in every situation that I encounter, just because self-reflection is so big, because a lot of people are scared to take that look at themselves and be like, I was wrong. And I don't know why it's so hard to say I'm not okay, I'm wrong. And sometimes it's even hard to say I'm sorry for some people. But it's like that accountability that's the key to growth other than discipline. Like,
yeah, it's a defense mechanism to be like, that's pride and ego. Yeah. When you understand that pride and ego really doesn't serve you, on this journey, then you realize it's like, all right, if I don't learn from my mistakes, then I'm gonna keep repeating them. But if I don't even know they're a mistake, if I'm sitting here so prideful that I don't even feel like it's a mistake, then that's just death for real to me. It's
like, to be honest, if you feel like there's no possibility that you could ever be wrong in any situation, because there's some people like that. There's people that, they feel as if they could never be wrong. Everything they do is correct, perfect, the only way, and that's just, man.
What do they call them? They call them what? Narcissists now?
Yes.
A lot of times, a lot of people throw that word around.
Everything is everybody else's fault not
It's
like,
never your fault.
Never your fault. And I've dealt with narcissists, and honestly, you can't even tell them that they're a narcissist.
You can't tell them
You
nothing.
cannot tell a narcissist they're a narcissist, and it's not even like. And the only reason I laugh about it is because, man, like, you really gotta know one to know what I'm talking about. Like, if you sit here and you're acting narcissistic, you're crazy, you're out of your mind. Like, that's how it be. Like,
Exactly.
I can't make it up. Everything is deflected. You bring something to a narcissist's attention, and they deflect it somewhere other than themselves.
Revert it right back to you in some way.
Yeah, like, I don't.
It gets frustrating, though. It definitely gets frustrating. Because on the other end, the person is 9 times out of 10 taking that responsibility and trying to understand. But it's like talking to a wall, because I don't know if it's upbringing. I don't know what it is. But the lack of accountability is like everything gets reverted back to the other person. Mm-hmm. But like, even when we talk about accountability, not only in relationships, accountability with yourself, accountability with your finances, accountability with your family. These things that we have to take into account that come full circle is like, sometimes we'll get so caught up in accountability of an external person that's or a certain situation, when in all actuality, are we holding ourselves accountable? And this is where a lot of depression, mental health, these is where a lot of this spike is, because I tell myself I'm going to do something. I say, yo, all right, I'm going to start working out. I'm going to work out 3 days a week, right? And then you don't work out all week. You didn't hold yourself accountable, so you start going down deep into that mental, that mental fog, and it's like it's a rabbit hole that you don't really want to go down. So if you say you're going to do something, that's why in the Four Agreements, is a book called The Four Agreements by Miguel Ruiz. I advise all y'all to read this book. And the number one agreement is be impeccable with your words. So if you're going to say something, you got to stand and hold yourself accountable, because if you don't, you're telling your body, you're telling yourself you're not worth it. You're telling yourself you failed yourself. You didn't take action. And then this is where the depression and the mental health and all this starts to kick your butt, is because we're not being impeccable with our words. If we say something, we got to mean it and stand on that.
And using the gym as an example, because I've had people that, like, they want to get into the gym journey, but they're like, man, I can't stick with it. Or, how are you even able to go 7 days a week? How do you, and it's like, it's not even that I don't think of it, any goal that I set, when I said I'm going back to the gym, I already know, because if I say it out loud, I'm going to do it. But I didn't originally say, oh, I'm going to go 3 days a week. I said, I'm going to start going to the gym, and I take 1 day at a time.
There you go.
Every day I want to give each day my best. If I can go to the gym, and that's my absolute best for the day, cool. We went to the gym, one out of 7 days or whatnot. We get to the next day, and today could be 2 out of 7, but it could also just be an off day, because I could have put so much into my day, between work and some people got kids. That was my offer day. I couldn't make it to the gym.
Yeah.
So you got to find a reasonable balance, especially when you're starting out going to the gym. You don't just go from a life of no fitness really and start going 7 days a week
and tell yourself that. And
like
I love
you build up to 7 days a week. Don't be like, I'm going 7 days a week and then you miss a day, you miss 2 days, 3 days. You're gonna discourage yourself. You're gonna start doubting yourself. You gotta see what you can do consistently. First.
So we can't set the bar so high that's not realistic, and then wonder why. Oh yeah, I'm gonna start doing it. Oh yeah. Hey, it's baby steps. It's a journey. Like I like to say, it's not a destination. It's a journey. It's like we be in a rush to go nowhere instead of it, understanding the process of life and we set the bar so high and say, all right, I'm going to save every dollar. All right, I'm not going to do this. All right, I'm going to do that. All right, I'm going to stop smoking. All right, say I'm going to work on this. It's how you word it. And that's why I say you got to be impeccable with your words and not set that bar so high, because once you let yourself down, you're saying it's okay to fall short. And this is where a lot of depression and that sort of thing stems from.
Yeah, and I mean, I like how you mentioned that, you know, the way we speak, because, you know, just how it is in the last episode I talked about, you know, it's not what you say to me, it's how you say it. It works no different to ourselves.
That internal,
you know,
dialogue.
You got to be careful with how you speak to yourself, because 99% of what we believe about ourselves is what we tell ourselves. So you gotta change how you speak to yourself. You know, even if it's as far as, and I know a lot of people that joke and they'll be like telling themselves, "I'm stupid," and they'll laugh, and you know that might be a joke, but that you say it so much they start to believe it, and it's like you gotta be careful what you say to yourself. And the reason I know that's so much more powerful than. The only reason that I feel if somebody externally says it has power is because if it matches something you're already telling yourself. So that's like a confirmation for somebody that's telling themselves, I'm stupid, I'm ugly. If somebody else outside of them says that, they're going to be like, oh, wow, it must be true. And they're really going to believe it. And
that's beautiful. I love you said that, because like when you keep saying we these agreements that we put on ourselves, right? How do you rewrite that story? Instead of saying, man, I'm broken, or instead of saying, man, I can't catch a break, instead of saying these things, how do I say, you know what? I'm getting better every day. Or you know what? I'm overcoming these things. It's like we gotta rewrite our story. And I was just listening to a podcast on the way here, and it talked about rewriting your story. Like I used to always look at it like, man, I'm a felon. You know, I got 5 kids, man. I'm always gonna be an addict, or I'm always gonna be this. And it's like I keep rewriting these stories and putting these hats on, these identities that we all take on that aren't actually ours in the first place. To where it's like, how do we get away from these identities? Okay, where do I want to be at in 5 years? Or what's the objective in a year from now? What's my end goal, right? And then start working towards that. Start taking them identities on. But we take on these poor me, these victim identities, and they hold us back. You can't get to where you're trying to go with the baggage of the past. We can't go back. We can't look too far. We got right now. What are we doing right now? How do I feel right now? And this is why affirmations are so important. Like affirmations, I am limitless. I do lack nothing. You know what I mean? I am ambitious. I am disciplined, and really start believing that and rewiring yourself, because these identities we take on through the minute we would come out of our mom's womb till, you know, right now, it's like, yo, what's serving me and what's not serving me? And that's all reevaluating and holding yourself accountable in order for you to do these type of things, in order for you to move and complete the level that you're on to get to the next.
And honestly, it's really all rewiring. It starts with self-reflection. That's how it starts. It's self-reflection. You know, how do I see myself? How do I want to be, and how do I want to see myself?
Exactly.
How can I become something I'm proud of? And like you said, I like, you know, about the whole victim role. A lot of us, and I mean, I'm guilty of it too, playing victim to my circumstances, but, you know, and things I've been through. But we can't do that forever, especially if we want to get somewhere on the better side of life, on the better side of things. And there is a better side. For real, like, you know, even when you think there isn't, you don't even believe it. Hey, believe it, you know? You got to take the steps yourself. And when you get in that, and you can even pick one thing at a time. You can't look at yourself and like I said, I'm guilty of it. I looked at myself as broken, you know, and that was a big picture. It wasn't for a while until I broke down that broken. Okay, where are we broken at? You know, the traumas. Okay, let's work on some of the traumas. But to work on some traumas, some of them are kind of hidden. You don't know that you have a trauma until you realize it triggered. Once you realize that trigger, you go back, recognize it, and you're like, okay, what triggered that? Okay, cool. What's the root? Okay, cool. We found the root. Kill it.
Kill it.
Don't
feed it. I love that.
When that's literally my process when it comes to it. Like, And it's
Wow.
like, so you got to kill it from the root, man. Because if you cut down a tree and you cut it down to the bottom of the trunk, that tree gonna keep growing.
And
you got to cut it from the root.
that's beautiful that you said we become so numb to our traumas that we don't understand like where to start at. But anything that triggers you in the present moment, you realize that that's where you start at. It's like right now is where that triggered my son, me having to tell my son something 10 times triggered me. Why did that trigger me? Because you don't even hold yourself accountable in this sense. Like I can't, it triggers me because like it's something with my son having me to tell him multiple times. How many people have ever told me multiple times and I didn't get at that point? And it's like, that's what I mean is like the correlation of the triggering. It's like, it's all a reflection.
It is. Man, people hate looking into that mirror, but honestly, looking into that mirror that's all your answers. Man, all the answers to all your questions is within. And to look within, you gotta get in that mirror. I honestly don't know how to explain it for real, but it's like once you start getting fascinated with putting the pieces to your puzzle together.
Yeah.
Putting, so that your picture is way better than you even imagined. Like being able to speak on how you used to be is a great feeling. Even though what you used to be might not have been the greatest. Like, you know, but we all live and learn, we go through things, but it's holding yourself accountable to that journey of and committing to that growth, that development, change. And people look down upon change. Sometimes they be like, yeah, you changed. No, I didn't change, I grew. I don't want to be somebody that ages. I want to grow up.
Yeah.
I don't want to have these ways that I've had. I don't want to be always so traumatized. Like, and even when I talk about them things, I laugh now because it's like, man, I used to do some, I don't know. I just used to have some weird triggers. Like, to me, like, it was just like, whoa. It's like, and it's such a good feeling to know that I'm reacting way better than I would have in the past.
And to detach yourself from the emotion and really look at it at an observant, like observation way of like, oh, that triggered me. Instead of like, why you getting so entitled, getting so caught up in the emotion of it. It's like you're able to take that step back, and that's growth in itself. But let's talk about change. Like you said, we everything is changing. Nothing is the same.
Evolving.
If you understand energy, you understand everything is changing constantly.
Yeah.
Nothing is going to be the same. So, like you said with the whole mirror, the most important conversation that you're going to have is the conversation you have with yourself. Right?
You gotta be real.
And there's been times I'll bypass the mirror because I don't even want to look myself in the eye. I'm like, oh shit, I don't even know who that is.
I don't want to look today, though.
There's times it's like, I might look in the mirror and start crying because I feel the pain, or it might be, but that conversation and that dialogue that you have within the mirror, to be able to really look in the mirror and look yourself in the eye. I seen a post that you did the other day where it was you wrote on the mirror, you versus you.
Oh, yeah.
I did the same thing. I'm going to take a picture and show you.
Yeah.
I put you versus you. So every morning I'm getting ready for the workout, or I don't feel like a thought come in my head and I don't feel like doing something, I go look in that mirror and it's like, yo, it's going to be you versus you. And that's the only competition. That's the only thing that really you need to take into account. Anything exterior is going to play itself out if it's meant to be. Whether it's a relationship, whether it's finance, whatever it is, it's like once you can hold yourself, everything starts within. And when you can take your emotions out of these triggers and this sort of thing and be like, all right, I'm observing what's going on. I'm not so indulged in it. That's key. That's what meditation is for. That's what meditation does for me. That's what breathwork does for me. I become the observant of my thoughts, so I can tell myself whether I'm gonna, attach myself to that or I'm just gonna let it go.
Kind of like watching it like a movie.
Like a movie. It's all rewriting our story, rewriting our script. And how do we do that? How do we want to show up? How in life for others, or how do we want to show up for ourselves, for our family? Like, we gotta rewrite our movie.
And like, I look, you lost my train of thought.
Yeah. No, cause
But like, no, it's just a topic that can
go a lot of different
different
ways.
ways.
Yeah,
Like
yeah.
you can even go into, the importance of having people or basically like me and you. We
Right.
hold each other accountable.
Right.
But the only reason that I'll hold you accountable and vice versa is because I know you hold yourself accountable.
Absolutely.
I'm not gonna be the person wanting it more than you.
Absolutely.
Because at the end of the day, I can't want something for you more than you want it for yourself.
Absolutely.
And I feel like when it comes to people that we love, that's like a hard thing to realize because it's like, and I was somebody that felt given up on, like, at a point in my life. So it's like, I don't want to give up on you. I know you got it in you. Like, come on, like, So it's like, I want to constantly push you and I want it more than, the person,
want it for themselves.
Yeah, more than they want it for themselves. And I'm failing to see that I'm killing myself and I'm trying to fight for what they say they want more than they're fighting. And it's like, for me, if I love you at all, like whether it's a little bit, a lot, no matter how far, like even my family back home, there's either one of the two things I'm gonna do for you. I'm gonna help you carry your weight, or I'm gonna try and take the load off you, because it's like man, like, and like even for example, I had somebody really close to me call me and tell me some real unexpected and personal information. And I've always found it, I don't know if I want to say odd, but people just find real comfort in telling me deep secrets. And
okay,
that's not something that everybody can do.
That's trust, though.
Yeah, that's real trust. So it's like that information, I like to guard it. And if you come to me with some information like, I've had people tell me, I was molested as a child. And with that person being male and his molester being a female, a lot of men don't feel like
that's molested.
Yeah, they don't feel like the society would say that's not wrong or whatever, but roles reversed, that's like red zone.
Super red zone.
So it's like for him to be able to come out with that information to me, it's like, okay, you really trust me. And I mean, honestly, even when he told me, I didn't look at it like, you're a man. Like, how I wasn't nobody that ever looked at it like that. I was like, okay, because for years, and I mean, everybody go through their phase in life. You're young and you start exploring, with the, in the world of, sex and stuff. So, but I mean, there's people that they're real hypersexual.
Yeah, promiscuous.
Yeah, yeah. And I'm not saying
it stems from the molestation.
And I'm not saying that's everybody, but it's like for years, that the said person was, really, really hypersexual. I mean, I didn't judge them for it. It's like, do you, bro?
Yeah,
be safe. And it's like I never wanted to ask. I'm not a person that's gonna ask something like that out the blue, and I'm not gonna assume that's why. But when he came to me, that was the trick. Like that's you're trying to quench the thirst that'll never be quenched. And it was like, okay, we found the response. We know the trigger. We got to kill the root. And honestly, like I'm no doctor, but I knew bro was not about to go to therapy. So I'm reading on stuff, and I'm like, bro, we gotta reverse the psychology. If you're trying to quench the thirst, and this is how you're trying to quench it, and you're doing all of this, and it's not getting quenched, kill it. Yeah. Go celibate. We gotta practice celibacy so that you can get control over yourself and also deal with the reality that this is what happened. Recognize your emotions. Recognize that, it did damage. It left a mark.
Yeah, and that's the thing is like you said with them patterns, but when you're molested, you feel alone. You know what I mean? You don't know who to run to. So for him to even just openly say that to you, it's hard, because I know even with me, I was 10 years old, got molested by a friend, act like I was still asleep, not even really understanding, like, and I carried that with me all the way till just recently. I just told somebody recently that I've been molested, but I felt alone, and I felt, like you said, promiscuous. These sort of things and these sort of triggers all stem from that. To where all I had to do is reach out to somebody, or all I had to do is talk to somebody, or all I had to do is really like understand I'm not alone in this. Like there's a lot of people right now that are, there's people right now being molested as we speak. So just know you're not alone. There's somebody that you can lean on and trust on. And understand that it's even more heroic for you to speak up than for you to drown, and come to find out you numb that and realize why you're acting the way you're acting as you getting older, and them patterns getting more embedded in you. So I just say, for anybody that's dealing with that, speak up. You're not going to get in trouble. It could be our loved ones, which are big letdowns, but speak up and know, like, you're not alone, and you're not in the wrong. You know what I mean? It's them. It's like we carry all that weight. They don't even feel like that half the time. All the heaviness goes on to the one that's being molested, not the person that's doing the molesting. And it's like we carry that guilt and that burden, and it doesn't serve us.
Yeah, and I mean, that's also when, like, because that same day, he was like, I just feel so disgusted with myself. I hate myself. I don't like that I'm always doing this and that. And that's the thing that was the mirror that ignited the change, and he's held himself accountable ever since. And granted, I'm not, and even he'll tell you, the word accountability is not on the fact that was done to him. The word on accountability is holding himself accountable to undo the effects that it had on him, to heal from it, And I'm not somebody who's ever been in that situation. So, and even when I told him, I'm like, I've never been in that situation. I'm gonna try my best to help you, but you gotta work with me. I'm gonna work with you. I'm gonna do the best I can on my part, but a lot of it's internal, and that's on you. And I'm like, you can't control that it happened. You can control what you do now that you know that this is what happened. This is how it affected me. I want to change. I want to not forget, but heal from it.
And a lot of times we got to learn how to let go of, like, that guilt, right? But a lot of people don't let go of that guilt because they don't get the closure that they want. Like, so if I'm telling you my uncle molested me and I'm telling my mom and she don't believe me, it's like I'm carrying even more of it. So it's like, how do you let that go when you've been feeling guilty about it that whole time? And it's not, when you say these things and you let these things out, you don't do it for a closure. You do it for yourself, is what I'm saying. You got to let that go, because that's not going to help you along this path. You're just going to carry that, and you're going to lean into addiction. You're going to, whether it's porn, sex, liquor, whatever it is, it comes back in your life in another form or fashion. And it's like, once you're aware, that's why I say the beautiful thing about awareness is, once I'm aware, I have the choice to change. The choice. That's the blessing of the free will. Like, we get so caught up in free will, but you can do bad, but at the end of the day, you have a choice to carry that with you. And to be honest with you, a lot of times, like me even just saying that's how you resonate with the people the most, is what you're saying. Is like the hardships and the stuff that we go through. That's how you give back, and maybe you can help a kid or two along the way. Whereas though we just get so insecure about these type of things, and it's like, it's not your fault.
And it's like for me to, and I mean, it wasn't even like I had any to put any effort in it, but when he told me, I didn't question it. Like, I'm not that type of person. I have female friends who have been, sexually assaulted. I never questioned, because, one, I wasn't there. Two, if this is how you're telling me that it went down, I'm not about to sit here and, but did you do this? What was you doing? Like, I'm not doing all that.
Just
like,
to hold that space for them is enough, though. You know what I mean?
I'm gonna be like, I was the one person who has always believed, and especially like in him, like, because he tried to confront that person. And he tried to tell his parent. And I mean, I'm just not the person that's going to sit here and try and, I'm not the police. If you come to me, in confidence with sensitive information, I'm going to be sensitive with you. Like, I'm a carry the weight with you.
So let's talk about this. I love that you're saying with the partnership, like your homie, the accountability partner, right? Being able to hold your partner to account of their actions, right? So how does an accountability partner help or assist you along the way as far as, from reviving yourself from being a broken baby?
I feel like it's all about, I feel like there has to, be a lot of transparency. Like, you got to be vocal about what it is you're trying to do. The partner has to understand that too. And I feel like they got to be invested. Not saying in you as much as they are themselves, but y'all got to be, okay, if I see you falling out of line, correct me. I see you falling out of line, correct me. It's got to be, it can't be
A
one
standard
side.
there. It got to be a standard. It got to be like, yo, all right, if you say you're going to do 100 push-ups a day, I'm going to make sure, hey, middle of the day, where you at with your push-ups?
Yeah.
You know what I mean? So holding each other accountable, but for the better. You know what I mean? It's only going to better yourself.
Accountability is it's a word that, sometimes I feel like it's thrown around but not practiced. And like I said, when it comes to practicing humility, people get so caught up in feeling humiliated rather than, practicing humility is how you grow and heal. And like I said, there's steps like, self-reflection, looking deep and being truthful and honest, and, as to what you see, and not getting down if you see things you don't want to see, but have that give you the courage to, like I said, rewire, rebuild,
Right.
grow from that person. Now you have a person that, you gotta love that person too. No matter how damaged, broken, wrong you feel that person is, you gotta love that person, and you gotta grow from that person. Because I feel like loving yourself in every stage is important. Loving every stage, every era, and of yourself is just important.
You know what I love to say about accountability is like, when you point the finger, you got 3 pointing right back at you. There's like, yeah, you're pointing the finger and saying it's because of this, it's because of that, it's because of this, but you forget that there's 3 more pointing right back at you, telling you, it's like, yo, no, what could you had done differently? So if you got any takeaway from this, from me, as far as, accountability goes, no matter what situation arises, always ask yourself, what could I have done differently? Don't blame a Cody. Don't blame a relationship. A girlfriend or boyfriend. Don't blame your job because of your finances ain't right. It's all going to revert back to you, so you can start taking the actual changes and the steps necessary in order to be great and make it to wherever it is you're trying to make it to. But always remember, it's a journey, not a destination.
Yeah.
So every day we strive to be 1% better.
Yeah.
So let's start learning the ability to take ourselves into account.
100%.
You already know this is a lot more gems, a lot more game where this come from. I need y'all right now to like, follow, subscribe. I need y'all to join the Broken Baby Movement on IG. Listen, we got merch coming. It's about to get explosive. It's about to get great. We're about to impact and help a lot of people along the way. So I need y'all to make sure y'all share. Look, don't do anything but share, like, follow, and subscribe, and let people know that is coming from broken homes and broken babies. That it's the movement. This is the movement.
The movement. But yes, hold yourself accountable now and start by making sure you follow all the links in the description. Make sure you like this video, share it, and, drop a comment on topics you want us to hit. We're working on bringing guests in so we can have guests of different backgrounds as well. So just let us know what you guys kind of want to see and how you guys feel about the episodes that we're doing. This is for you guys, and we appreciate the love that we've been receiving and the love that we're going to get in the future.
We're gonna We're gonna sell out Apollo in Harlem soon. I'm telling you, we coming. We coming to Boys and Girls Club. We're manifesting these things, and we're just giving y'all genuine game that, you know, we learned throughout this journey. So, look, y'all already know the vibe. It's the movement, Broken Baby. Get with us.
Love.
Love. Hold up. Stop what y'all doing right now. I need y'all to go grab an uncle, go grab a nephew, grab a brother, grab a sister. Look, I need y'all right now to share this. Look, this is not only a podcast. This is not only a clothing wear. This right here is a movement that you I promise you want to be a part of, y'all. So right now, tap in with us. It's going down, Broken Baby Podcast. The movement, the one and only movement where we talk about mental health, we talk about addiction, we talk about overcoming. Like we say all the time, it's not what you go through, it's what you grow through. So look, tap in with us. Y'all know the vibes. It's your boy Carr. I'll see y'all at the top. We out.